Network channel. Welcome here to Steve's Wrestling Ramble. We'll be predicting WWE Survivor Series 2018 edition with me and my team and some great guests. Other ones may be joining. We did try to start this previously, but I don't know. Do a Hangouts just wanted to turn heel on us and kick me out, the host. So couldn't really be able to fix anything there. So the video was deleted. Now we're starting over again. Also, update with the football game. We have the 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers up 14-10 against the Seattle Seahawks team from Seattle, Washington. And anyways, they're on the road, so we're doing pretty well. Aaron Rodgers holding his own, and hopefully we'll get the W. But here we're talking wrestling, so we'll keep on topic. Talking about WWE Survivor Series. Yes, we'll be, for us, repeating ourselves on some things, but hey, just to everybody else, a new video or whatever. So welcome first my co-host, Kyron Chase. Kyron Chase, how you doing? And what's your excitement level from 0 to 10 heading into WWE Survivor Series?
Well, I'm doing good. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to catch my momentum again because the heat I was talking on the first time, I'm not gonna be able to regain the second time. But my excitement level for Survivor Series, I'll give it a 4, mainly because this show it barely had any build. The one match that did have build is off the table. Thank you, Nia Jax. And like I said, you know, people say, but they had, you know, all these shows so close. That's why Survivor Series isn't getting this much build. And I said back then, I would not give WWE that excuse. They knew what they were getting themselves into, and they had this many shows around this time, and they decided to make one of the big 4 or big 5, depending on what you want to say, that the show they put the littlest amount of effort into. So I'm not going to give WWE any leeway for that. I mean, you have, you know, SmackDown 1000, Evolution, Crown Jewel, and then Survivor Series so close to each other. And this has gotten the least amount of build. And SmackDown 1000 had so little build, and it showed on the show. Evolution had terrible build up, but at least it's still a decent to good show. Crown Jewel had the most amount of build, and that show was god awful. And now you have Survivor Series. And like I said, the one match that had heat and build up, mainly down to the 2 wrestlers because WWE wasn't giving all that much, is off the table. So I'm not very excited for the show that much. And like I said, the one thing I don't love about doing Raw vs. SmackDown every year for Survivor Series is the fact that these 2 shows now have to act like they're feuding when they didn't do this all year. The seed should have been planted for months leading up to this. And while, yes, it makes Survivor Series interesting, you need more build-up. Now, TakeOver is another story. Of course, I'm excited for TakeOver. Even though it has 4 matches, I wholeheartedly believe in the old saying, quality over quantity. I'll take 4 great matches, Survivor, and 2.5 hours over what Survivor Series is going to give us. Because when I look at those 4 matches, all 4, and especially 3 of them, have a good chance to be top 10 matches of the year. You have Gargano versus Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream, War Games, and you have Kairi Sane and Shane Baszler, 2 out of 3 falls match. That's the show I'm looking forward to this weekend. And I want to look forward to Survivor Series more because he got matches like Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura and The Bar versus the AOP, but there's been no build or heat between those matches. So I can't really get excited for those. And like I said, the men's elimination match, there's some people being left off this card. AJ's not on the card anymore. Andrade. I mean, how long for Andrade is Cien Owens actually get some wins? And that's not, I'm being serious. Like, the dude keeps having good matches, but he's losing to people like Jeff Hardy when he shouldn't be losing those matches. He should have gotten that last spot on the men's elimination team. You have Rusev isn't on the card. You have Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, and Bayley again left off the card. And then with the tag team elimination matches, like they didn't care so less about it. They put on a pre-show, and then you look at the teams on it. The only teams I really care about that's in there, thanks to WWE's poor booking, is Usos, New Day, The Revival, because they haven't done anything with Sanity. And this comes back to bite. You broke up Rusev and Aiden English. They should have been. You keep them together. They could have been a team in the match because you've put the Colognes and Sanity on a team. 2 teams you've done nothing with. Oh, and Gallows and Anderson too. Like, right. Why should I be excited?
Yeah, I mean that tag team one was definitely thrown together. I mean, you just have the Colognes pop up out of nowhere, come back from the vacation or something, and now part of this match, and understandably a reason why it's going to be on the pre-show. Let's move it along. Let's welcome Malik. Everybody, also, I wanted to already promote. I will be on his channel, so will others, for the Survivor Series live stream watch party. So I look forward to that. Malik, how you doing, and what's your excitement level heading into the pay-per-view?
I'm doing good. Excitement level probably for Takeover. I mean, it's obviously really high for Takeover. For Survivor Series, probably maybe like a 4 or 5 around the middle, 4 or 5.
And also, let's welcome our guest, Real Deal, Jaden Steele. Hope he's here with us. How the heck are you doing? What are your excitement level, I guess, for both shows, the NXT Takeover and WWE Survivor Series?
As far as NXT goes, I'm gonna give that a 9 because I don't ever want to go into it too anticipated in case you always got to make room for disappointment. Does NXT disappoint most of the time? Not really. I mean, you want my honest opinion of it? I mean, I look at it as in a worker's perspective. These guys haven't made it to the main card yet. These guys are hungry. These guys are chasing their dreams still. They haven't given up yet. They haven't been used on the main roster and thrown away to somebody else they're building on the main card. These guys are busting their ass for you every single month that they can because they're fighting for that top spot. So when you get to see these guys, I mean, if you look to the NXT and then you see a lot of these guys on the main card right now, half of the guys that aren't mainstream stars, they had better matches in NXT than they have on Raw or SmackDown. It's just the way they build their cards. But Survivor Series, I think Nia took me down to like a 4 or a 5 at most. That's all I'm going to say about the Survivor Series.
Right. And for NXT, I would certainly say my excitement level heading into it is an 8 out of 10. My excitement level heading into Survivor Series would be a 6 out of 10. Though I do enjoy Survivor Series more than most people, because I do actually enjoy the Raw versus SmackDown Live. Yes, I understand people's gripe that there's nothing actually for it, no draft picks or anything like that that's actual tangible in a sense, storyline wise, kayfabe wise, for this battle. Just for the bragging rights, the battle of the brands, as I branded it. But I still enjoy it because with these traditional Survivor Series matches, and as you guys know, I am one that do like multi-superstar matches, not just the Royal Rumble, but other types like Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series matches, that I like it just because of the knowing the who knows who's going to win, side's going to win, how this is all going to play out, who's going to win Raw versus Raw or SmackDown Live. Again, most may not care, could care less. But for me, that's interesting. They have me, at least, as a fan of the interest of Raw or SmackDown Live. I'm a Team Blue guy, right? So I might be more into it than I should be, quote unquote. But I just am, and I am going to look forward to seeing how that all unfolds. So I certainly will be enjoying Survivor Series while I'm watching it. They're part of Malik's live stream and seeing how everything plays out. And of course, it'll be tied when we get to the main event, whatever the main event is, and it'll all be determined there. But one thing that we did talk about in our previous edition of trying to do this episode, so I'll throw it to Malik here first, with the heel turn with Becky Lynch and now the heel turn of Daniel Bryan. What are your thoughts on how Becky Lynch is on the heel and with the craziness from Tuesday night with Daniel Bryan's heel turn?
The Daniel Bryan heel turn definitely surprised me. I didn't see it coming at all. I think it's good for him though because his face character would kind of becoming stale for real. People weren't really behind him like they were a couple years ago when he was really really over at one point. I think this could be really good for him because obviously AJ is pretty much the top babyface for SmackDown. So and he's already had that heel run. And I think Daniel Bryan wanted something fresh, something new for him. And I'm surprised they gave him the belt though. I guess they did it because they didn't want AJ to lose to Brock twice again. And it's something different. They did this last year too. Right before like Survivor Series, Jinder put it on AJ. This year they took it off AJ and put it on Bryan. I think during towards the end of the match, I kind of thought AJ was gonna lose just because of how they were doing things, but you never really think he's gonna lose until he actually loses. But I'm excited for Daniel Bryan's heel turn. I'm gonna see. I'm cool to see where it goes. I just hope the guy that Brock Lesnar doesn't kill him on Sunday because he's gonna take a lot of suplexes on that neck. So I just hope he's all right after this match because I mean, obviously he's not gonna win, but I just hope from all the suplexes he's gonna have to take, I just hope he doesn't damage his neck or anything again.
And Becky Lynch, how do you think she's been doing as a heel so far?
Well, she's the best thing going on SmackDown. She's by far the best thing going on SmackDown. She's the best thing going in the whole women's division, if you ask me.
Hold up, Malik. Let me correct you. She's not just the best thing going in the women's division. She's the best thing on the main roster. Period.
Yeah, she's like
correct.
She's the best thing going right now. So I mean, you know, it obviously sucks that she got hurt and she's not able to wrestle. That was the match that everybody was looking for, really, on the card. But you know, she's really, you know, that I don't know if you want to call it a heel turn because she's not even really a heel because
she's not
a loser, but that whole flip from her character, you know, that was the best thing going for her in a long time, man. She was absolutely doing nothing, and like just doing nothing with her, and having that character change was really, really good for her, man. And you know, like I said, it sucks that she got hurt, and you know she won't be wrestling Sunday, but you know, hopefully when she's able to wrestle again, hopefully you know they continue to go with the momentum that she's going right now because she's doing great things on SmackDown.
Definitely. And Jaden, what are your thoughts on heel turn? You know, or whatever heel turn or just character change for Becky Lynch, and how that's been going, and with Daniel Bryan, how you think that's going to go? You think it was too early? Because I know some people have been saying too early for Daniel Bryan to turn heel. Some saying he shouldn't ever be heel again. You know, kind of be like Roman Reigns and John Cena, at least continuing for his career, staying a face. What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, they pretty much nailed it on the Becky Lynch subject. Best thing going right now. You can't stop the momentum. If you're right, you know what I'm saying, you let her ride her wave. Just because you got a Flair name, don't kill it for the fans. Don't kill it for the entertainment. Don't kill it for the good matches. Let it happen. We don't get it at Survivor Series. Stuff happens. It's probably going to be a WrestleMania main event now for the women. The Daniel Bryan turn. I'm not I wasn't a big fan of AJ Styles' like title run at the end. It got stale, you know.
It did.
You know, when Daniel Bryan turned heel, hit the low blow, you know, did the knee, got the pinfall. You know, that was a great ending for SmackDown. I mean, you didn't see it coming unless you read dirt sheets. Daniel Bryan, to me, man, he's kind of played out. We'll kind of see where he's going to go with the whole heel persona. I'd like to see him get more technical in the ring. The man's a phenomenal, you know, technical wrestler. It's just when you got him in there going against Brock Lesnar on Sunday, man, the dude's already got, like y'all stated earlier, you know, prior injuries to his neck, especially with a guy that's only moveset is an F5 and a German suplex. So you got one or two options here. You're putting a guy in you're trusting to go in that ring with that's already got a stiff reputation to work with. You know, he's shot on many superstars in the past, accident or on purpose, however you want to look at it. And you're putting an injury-prone superstar that was out of it for so long in there with a very dangerous competitor. So now you're telling me one or two things here. You don't care about the health of your guy and you're just wanting ticket sales, or there's something in him that you have not instilled in us as viewers that you haven't got that point across on. So when he goes into that ring, if he's going to eat 50 million Germans, take 2 F5s, you know, sitting through a barricade and an announce table, whatever he's going to do to him, Daniel Bryan's going to have to get his shit in some way or another. You want to surprise everybody? Everybody's saying Lesnar's going to stomp him. Let Bryan go over. He's got an injury. He's injury prone with his neck. Don't let Lesnar, you know, throw him around like a rag doll, have something controversial happen, however you want to work it. Let Daniel tap him out in the ring, man. That'd be the greatest thing you can do for Daniel Bryan with him turning heel at this moment, because you'll give him so much more momentum going forward than you would having a stale champion that makes a universal title on the red brand irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, though, in regards to Becky Lynch, you know, I do call it a heel turn. She does very well at it. I would actually say, I want to say this before I throw it to to Kyron to give his thoughts on everything. Again, I'm going to add this new wrinkle to it for him to respond to. But for me, I think it kind of revitalized, restarted Becky Lynch's career with this turn that I call a heel turn. You can just call it anti-hero, whatever you want to label it. But for me, I think it's something that revitalized her career and restarted it, because before this turn, I don't think that not only would she not would become the WWE SmackDown Live Women's Champion anytime soon, but she would kind of be in the same category as we have with Sasha Banks, as we have with Bayley currently over on the Raw brand, Red brand, out there, with just being one of the many on the roster. And if anything, if they get title opportunities, they're going to be losing their title matches. So that's where I saw Becky then. But now, as the great heel she's been doing, she's a made woman, as she calls herself, the man. And she's the current champion and might be champion heading into WrestleMania, and defending her title there. So I think I'm not going to say it saved her career. She's going to be fine. She's still going to be working with WWE for a while. So I'm not going to say she's going to be on the brink of being fired. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the turn did regenerate, restart, whatever verbiage you want to use. But you know what I mean. So that's my thoughts on it. As for Daniel Bryan, I was surprised that it happened this soon with his return, and also this soon with his re-signing with WWE from September. So him winning the title was surprising in its own right, but him also turning heel surprised me as well. Like that one fan they showed on camera, it's all open. Then again, some people just do that to be on camera. But anyways,
what about the Ronda Rousey promos that everybody knows that she's working with Paul Heyman behind the scenes here, and as you see her character developing here, and you're listening to her promos, she's slowly going along. Now she's throwing out Paul Heyman words, using bigger, technical terms, and she's throwing these out. How do you feel about Ronda's promotional skills on the stick as of now compared to like what we've been witnessing these past few weeks? And then turn around and then look at the answers that they're giving back to each other, with Becky Lynch hitting that notorious. I mean, I fell in love with this. When she sat there, she looked into the camera and she said, "You're not the baddest bitch, you're the luckiest." I fell in love with that. I mean, if that wasn't a receipt, I don't know what was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since it's my turn anyway, I might as well just answer everything.
Go ahead.
First off, I'll just answer that quick one. Ronda's skills, promotional skills, have definitely gotten better. There's no doubt about it. I remember when she first showed up, she looked nervous. You could tell she was nervous a little bit. She loses herself, and she does lose herself from time to time, and she still does stumble over some words, or at times she doesn't seem believable. Like when she's saying, I believe what she's saying, but it doesn't feel like she believes it. That's how I feel sometimes. And while I do like both women's promos leading up to the match, Becky's was obviously better. I did not like when Ronda used a millennial comment, because you can't call someone a millennial who's literally 2 days older than you are. So that line didn't work, because Becky was born January 30th, 1987, and Ronda was born February 1st, 1987. That didn't work. What do I think? I still don't think Becky's a heel. Most people will tell you she's not a heel. I love this new Becky character more now, and I love Becky regardless. But the way she's handling herself, you can't not like what she's doing. And I love how you said, "Oh, she just be like Sasha and Bayley." Well, whose fault is that for not giving Sasha and Bayley anything to do? It's like I said, they're off this card as well. It's like, and Ember too, for that matter. I mean, let's see how many. Not counting Evolution, because that was an all-women pay-per-view. When's the last time those three women were actually on pay-per-view? Yeah, exactly. I'm not supposed to complain about it though, right, Malik? But anyway, I love how Becky's portrayed. Daniel caught me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie. On one hand, I can't. I'm not gonna bring myself to boo Daniel Bryan regardless. I just can't do it. But I told Malik this great point, saying Daniel got over originally as a heel, and I counter argument by saying that's true. The difference is, when he was a heel back in 2011, 2012, it was more obnoxious, annoying, and he played up more for less. I want to see how they're going to do with a serious, threatening heel Daniel Bryan. I mean, you look at how stiff he can be in the ring, his technical abilities and submission specialists, give us that. He's proven he can cut a promo, so there's no problem with that. AJ, his title reign was definitely getting stale, but I don't think that was mostly his fault. That was most of that did not have anything to do with him because his matches was still pretty top notch.
Well,
Daniel,
he can have a match with the freaking broomstick. It'd be 5-star match.
That's why I think that's why he's one of the best workers in the company, if not the best. Daniel's a face definitely started getting stale. You tell the crowd started getting a little lukewarm with him, and I think and the thing is he asked for this himself. Like he asked for the heel turn himself, so I'm happy about that too because Daniel even saw he wanted to try something different. So that's how I feel about everything.
Another thing is too. I don't know if anybody knows this, but he actually. For some reason, I've seen a lot of interviews with when a lot of people ask because Daniel Bryan said he's one of his matches he wants to do is against Brock Lesnar. Yes. I've seen a lot of interviews with a lot of wrestlers. Now, a lot of wrestlers say they want to fight Brock Lesnar because they want to see if they can survive the physicality. Like I've seen many wrestlers say that. I don't know why. I've seen many wrestlers say in interviews I like to fight Brock Lesnar because I want to see if I can survive the physicality of it. I'm like, well, obviously they want to die. Then that's just how they just want to get killed. I mean, they're asking to get to die. So, Daniel Bryan, this is one of the matches that he's actually wanted to have since he came back. I mean, he's gonna get it, but I mean, like I said, I just hope he's all right. But I know I've seen a lot of wrestlers say that they would like to face Brock Lesnar and see if they can survive the physicality of the match, which I always thought that was kind of strange in a way. I was like, why would you like? I can understand maybe one of the wrestle the guy, but like just to go in there and see if you can survive an ass beating from this man, like.
And that's what there's.
Let me cut that off real quick. Anybody that says they want to get in a ring with a man that's more snug than a damn knot in your shoe, and you just want to go in there, job out to him. I mean, let's be honest. He's buried mainstream top stars. 5 F5s from a Strowman with a job. I mean, that's cool. You're a big man. I mean, he's going to take some pain. But let's be honest here. Let's go all the way back to when the Singh brothers sat there and took that poor ass whipping. I felt sorry for that one brother. He took that. He tried to oversell. That's what he did. And he landed on his skull.
Yeah.
On his skull. There ain't no selling that. I mean, it is what it is. Let's call spade a spade. You oversold that. You landed on your skull. You made him look like $1 million. I'll give you that. But you tell me how your MRI comes back tomorrow. That ain't smart. If you want to ask, this is the way I'm going to look at it. If I walk into the damn building and you go, all right, Mr. Steele, we got 2 options for you. You can go in there, go for the heavyweight strap. Brock's going over. We'll give you 10 minutes, da-da-da-da. Or you can go do a barn burner mid-card match for the Intercontinental belt or even just an opener on the show. I'm going to go with that opening or I'm going to go with that mid-card because there ain't no way you're going to pay me enough to go step in a ring with a man that's snug like that. I ain't even going to say snug. This dude's stiffer than a damn board in the bottom of the mat. So you better pack your lunch, man. And if you value your health, I don't suggest getting in there. But, some people are crazy.
And we also
if this was Brock Lesnar back in 2003 or something, that'd be different because he wasn't doing then. He was actually going out there and having matches. But with this character and the way he is now, I mean, he just goes in there and he just tosses people around. I mean, I remember when he did, when he did the Cena. I mean, obviously, that was booked the way it was, but I remember when he was tossing Cena around on his neck and stuff. I was like, my goodness, man! I just feel like every time he suplexes somebody and lands in the back of their head, I feel like they're gonna get paralyzed. I feel like they won't even move. It's just he just throws them around, and they just the way they land, man. It's really scary. That's why I'm like, that's when a lot of wrestlers said that. I'm like, okay, I can understand it. Maybe if you want to work with Brock, because it's gonna be a big payday. You know what I'm saying? You'll make good money because he's a big attraction, shit like that. So I can get that, but it's like, why would you want to go in there and just to see if you can survive a beating from the man? This is I always thought that was strange, man. Because I know Cesaro said that. I've seen Cesaro say it. Daniel Bryan said it. Kevin Owens said it. Kevin Owens said he would like to do it. So just I've seen say that. I'm just I just don't. Maybe it's just something in the wrestling business that maybe we just don't understand because we're fans. But from a fan perspective, I couldn't understand it. I don't know. Like I said, maybe if I was a wrestler. And especially, I would look at it differently, but
right. Well, me here sitting in this man perspective and seeing Daniel Bryan saying that, and especially with his neck injuries and the reason why he had to freaking retire in the first place, and now you're saying you want to go into a ring with a Brock Lesnar who literally gives no F's about anything when he's working with someone, and you're gonna put your own health with him. He's not gonna care, and just. Seeing with the past matches, especially remember that interaction or situation with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton there when a while ago. I forget what pay-per-view. I'm sure Kyron will let me know. But
SummerSlam 2016.
SummerSlam 2016.
thank you, gracias. But just from that, and with how his Brock Lesnar works, why would you want to be in there? I would think, again, I'm saying this as a fan. I've never.
Same thing. He did the same thing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania too. He split him open the same way.
But here's the thing with stuff with Randy, that was actually planned to happen. Even though that was completely stupid and irresponsible, WWE's part to let Brock legitimately hit Randy in the head. That was actually supposed to happen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was supposed to happen.
That was supposed to happen.
He ain't gonna just do that just to do it. I mean,
he didn't. Dangerous. Yeah, he didn't just shoot on Randy. That was supposed to happen. But
okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. It was like, I'll let certain stuff go by as a fan's perspective, but I'm gonna cut that off in a worker's perspective. If you go back and look at that footage, I'll point it directly out to you where the stiffs, the taters, whatever you want to call it, where they happen and where they end. No, and we can discuss if it's a shoot or if you think it's kayfabe.
No, here's the thing. He really punched him. I'm not denying. He really opened his head up. Here's where.
We're not denying that. What I'm saying is the difference between when a tater gets hit or somebody gets stiff in the ring, or here's how this all goes down. I'd have to rewatch the footage, but I know the generosity of it off the top of my head for the main part. Orton got stiffed, didn't like it, retaliated with that DDT, stiff as shit, bouncing Lesnar's head right off of that mat. Lesnar did not like that. Lesnar hits him with a shoot elbow, and you see him split right across the skull, and then you continue on with it.
See, here's why I don't think Brock went into business for himself for one reason, because like everyone heard about the story what happened with Jericho and Lesnar backstage. Jericho confronted Brock about what happened because he wasn't happy about it. And, Vince had to calm down, pretty much told Jericho what was supposed to happen. Not saying, like, WWE should be at fault. I mean, that's what the blade is for. But I don't think Brock went into business for himself, even though I thought it was a sick and disgusting display. And for everyone says, that disappointed because the match was, I knew the match was going to be garbage regardless. So I just wasn't expecting something like that. So I thought it was I thought it was terrible to have happen. But I don't think Brock legit went into business for himself.
That match, man, went down to ego, went down to pride. You could fool a fan, but you won't fool a worker, especially somebody that's been around the business long enough. My old man will point stuff out to me when we watch it together, and he'll spot things that I don't even catch in my own eye. You know what I'm saying? And it's an educational business. You'll learn. But when that match progressed, and there was some stiff shots in there, and then there was some taters back, but once Orton spiked him on that mat, it was all love and war at that point. I mean, I understand it. What Vince was saying about the whole, it was supposed to happen with the Jericho thing. Yeah, Orton was supposed to bleed in that match. You damn right. It's Brock Lesnar, Orton, something's going to happen. But it wasn't supposed to go down that way. He busted Orton up old school. There was no blade needed. He took it straight to the skull. I mean, I give you props. That's a hellacious way to get some color. I mean, not very many people to this day will catch color like that, by hand on the blade. But Lesnar's notorious for this, man. It's not the first match that he's gone in there. He shot on somebody. He's a bully. And if you don't go in there,
he did to Strowman.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you're talking about the uppercut, correct?
Yeah. When he punched him in the jaw.
That was nice. That was nasty, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you blinked, you thought she was watching UFC for a second. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, Roman is bigger and stronger than Lesnar. He doesn't to him. He does anybody.
But I mean, when it boils down to it, it's bullying at its best. The man knows if he can get over on you, you can tell by who's the ring general every time he gets in the ring with somebody. And the reason why Cena got in there and they did what they did, Cena wasn't afraid to fight back. As much as I'm tired of seeing John Cena and he was shoved down my throat and I really didn't care at that point, I get my hats off to the man. He stood up, he did his business, he wasn't afraid to shoot. He wasn't afraid to push back. And whenever you got somebody in the ring that's not going to push back, that's when you see Lesnar just take full-blown control. Orton gets annihilated. I think Orton was scared to shoot back on Brock Lesnar. My personal opinion.
My problem with Lesnar is like, and Malik says it, and I don't want to get a benefit of doubt, but he has a point. Like when Lesnar wants to, he can still work. I mean, you look at the match at AJ, it was the best match Lesnar's had since Punk. But I mean, I'm personally tired of Brock Lesnar. I mean, him suplexing was fun at first, but now it's just annoying, and I think it's just laziness at this rate. I don't really, I don't care that much, honestly, about Lesnar or his style or whatever. All I know is
what style? That ain't wrestling.
Exactly, but I mean, if he drops the title, whoever goes to UFC, fights Cormier, hopefully he doesn't have to come back. That's my whole thing. That's where I stand on everything.
Well, he ain't never leaving WWE. Not with the money Vince is paying him. He getting paid way.
And his schedule.
Millions. So he gonna get
more money in WWE than he ever won UFC anyway. So.
He limited dates and whatever he wants to. He controls his. He controls the.
He can do both. He can really do both if he wanted to.
Now he has a cushy life in that regard with WWE. He wouldn't want to leave that or take advice of that in any point. Like I said, was speaking of with Daniel Bryan, the reason why you had to retire was because of your neck, and now you're saying that, or at any point, whenever that you want to go in the ring with Brock Lesnar. I think that's more machismo. And more of wanting that big payday and having that alliance to be in the main event. But you're Daniel Bryan. You're highly popular. You're going to get main events anyways. And also, what also surprised me with him winning the title in the heel turn was this happening after the reports of Daniel Bryan being in the doghouse with Vince McMahon for skipping WWE Crown Jewel and not being in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, because he did the right thing.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, let's be honest here. This man didn't go over there. Okay, we can go all the way back to the whole Bellas thing, all right? Like, let's not fool anybody. Cena and Nikki, they talking behind scenes. That's just nothing but kayfabe for the fans, and you have some fun with that. Don't let them fool you. They still got a business relationship. I guarantee you Cena's hitting that and quitting it on the side. I mean, you ain't going to lie to me. I mean, they've had it for years. I mean, it's just like any of us. It's going to be the same way. You can't lie. You're a man. He has, bait and tackle down there. You can't argue that. It's going to happen. So, like, I feel as if Cena played a little bit of push comes to shove and kind of made that decision for Bryan. Because, like, as you could tell, throughout this whole little Total Divas and, like, if the relationship they got behind the big screen and all that, Bryan's more, like, looks up to Cena as, like, an influential type. And I think Cena played his two pennies, and that's why you didn't see Cena nor Bryan over there. Because if one ain't going, the other's not. The Bellas are going to play part of that. It's all politics with them. We seen that coming when Cena bailed out.
I mean, personally, since John and Daniel are two people I actually look up to, not just performance, but people. I'm happy they bailed out because I didn't watch the show anyway. And Daniel was in the only match I cared about, so I didn't watch the show. I think it was definitely some business, a lot of business person. I mean, with John, he's trying to get in the movies and stuff. You don't want to hurt his image. Same reason why if The Rock came back, I don't think he would do a show in Saudi Arabia. I do think some morals did play into it too, because knowing Daniel and John the way they seem off camera, they seem like good people off camera. They know what was wrong, and knowing the fact that the type of backstage pull they have, they're not just going to be fired easily, because that's John Cena, who's on a part-time deal, and he's still arguably a bigger star, and Daniel Bryan, who after everything he's been through with WWE, they wouldn't dare fire him. So, I mean, those two weren't going to get punished. What are you going to do to those two? I don't know how many other wrestlers could get away with that, but those two definitely could, because nothing's going to happen to them. And as for Daniel turning heel, I mean, I kind of believe that he might have been in the doghouse, but I didn't think it too much. But like I said before, Daniel asked for the heel turn himself. So that's my whole thing. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's just like I said, surprising with that news and his neck situation. And yes, he's cleared and he's back because he's W superstar. But now you're going to put him in there against Brock Lesnar, who, again, like I said, seems like he doesn't have a soul sometimes, being that bully. Someone will be reckless or stiff and, could do damage to that neck. And Daniel Bryan might have to retire on Raw or something again, or SmackDown, since he's on a SmackDown. superstar. But you know what I mean, like something like that. And obviously, we don't want that. You know, want him to be safe, and that's why maybe it might have that shocking win happen at Survivor Series with Daniel Bryan winning quickly, or another low blow incident or something like that, running knee, and getting a surprise win over Brock and be able to protect in a way however they can for Lesnar and helping Daniel Bryan with his heel turn that just happened on Tuesday, and then getting a win on Sunday. The last bit of news I want to talk about before we actually get into predicting WWE Survivor Series with you guys is the rumors of who's going to be the next SmackDown Live, SmackDown Live Women's Champion, and that being Sonya Deville. Hearing rumors going around the horn that Sonya Deville is picked to be going to be the next SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Again, it's just a rumor, but still, we'll talk about it here for let you guys give your speech. So, Malik, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Sonya Deville should be the next, and if not, who do you think should be the next SmackDown Live Women's Champion?
Well, first off, I ain't hear nothing about that rumor. That's news to me. I ain't see nothing about that. As far as right now, definitely not. I mean, they don't do anything with her, so I mean, I have no interest in Sonya Deville. No, they don't. It's their first time being on TV in like how long? So I mean, if they did something with her, and if they did something with her, and I could get into her character, whatever, and then maybe I wouldn't know. I mean, she said they've seen her on TV, and I don't know how long. I don't even know if she's even been on a pay-per-view since like Elimination Chamber. I think that was the last real pay-per-view she was on. So I mean, they do nothing with her. I didn't hear anything about that rumor though. That's the first time I heard anything about that.
Okay.
As far as maybe who want to see with the belt, I don't want to see anybody with the belt right now besides Becky Lynch. To be honest, I don't want to see anybody else with the belt. If I had to pick though on SmackDown, honestly, I'd have to pick Asuka for real. I mean, I'd like to see. I would like to see them do something with her. You know what I mean? Do something right with her. But I mean, I wouldn't want to see anybody else with the title besides Becky Lynch at this point. I mean, if she, with her not being in the match Sunday, I've heard they're either gonna have the match at the Royal Rumble or they're gonna just do it at WrestleMania. I don't know which one they'll do it at, but I mean, if she have it at WrestleMania, she might have to drop the belt and then win the Rumble and then go to Raw, which I don't want to see her on Raw. I'd rather see her much on SmackDown. I'd rather see her stay on SmackDown. I feel like she'd be a lot better on SmackDown than she would on Raw anyway. But I don't know. I don't know if Sonya Deville as the champion. As of right now, I can't speak for the future because you never know who's going to be hot and who's going to be down in the future. Some people right now we like that are talked about right now. And they might even be used a few months from now. So as of right now, absolutely not. I mean, come on. Like I said, they don't do anything with her. Sometimes I even forget she's even on the roster. To be honest, I mean, I was surprised they even put her on the Survivor Series team. I didn't even.
That's because they didn't have anyone on SmackDown.
I didn't even think they were gonna. I thought they were gonna put.
Now they have it.
I thought they were gonna have Charlotte, Asuka, Naomi, and the Iconics. I thought that was gonna be the Survivor Series team right there. I didn't think they were gonna put Sonya Deville in that team or Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose not even on the team, but I didn't think they were gonna put those Sonya Deville on the team. So I was surprised they even put her on the show. But like I said, as of right now, nobody would really want to see her as the champion. Like I said, nobody does anything with her. But like I said, if it's a month from now and they do stuff with her, who knows? I mean, who knows? What 8 months from now she could be, one of the top females on the division. I doubt it, but who knows though? I don't see WWE really. Honestly, from my opinion, I don't think they really see star in her. You know what I mean? I don't think they see that star in her. I think she's kind of just more there for the mid cards, jobs type stuff. I don't think they really see a big star in her. You know what I mean? I don't see it. I'd be really surprised if they really even put her. I'd be surprised they even put her in the storyline. You know what I mean? I don't think she hasn't been in the storyline since Absolution. And once Paige got injured, that was all downhill from there. So I mean, they don't, like I said, they didn't do nothing with her. So I'd be really surprised if they even consider giving her a title shot.
Now, I would be surprised with her character and personality. I think she would do well as a champion, just not now.
She's got the whole MMA background too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, and all them, her MMA background doesn't feel believable in WWE as it does for those two. Like when Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, those two, I feel like, when they're in the ring, I feel like they can legit, like, they can destroy you. You know what I mean? When they run in the ring, because of how obviously Ronda Rousey, her background, and Shayna Baszler with her character in NXT. You know what I mean? She's got a real mean, vicious character. You feel like, when she wrestles people, she puts people to sleep. You like she can really put them to sleep. You know what I mean? Sonya Deville has a MMA background and everything, but it's like. It's not like those two. If you get what I'm saying, it's not like Ronda Rousey. It's not like Shayna Baszler. It's not like I don't feel that when I see Sonya Deville.
Right, yeah, you don't see that realism as a fighter that she would legit kick your ass, sort of thing, as you do with the other two. But like I was saying, with that character and her personality, I do think that if in time WWE giving her the time, giving her the opportunity, the ball to run with, that I think she would make a good champion down the road, women's champion, Raw, SmackDown, whatever, in the future. Their current iteration of Sonya Deville. But let's move on to Jaden Steele, real deal Jaden Steele. What are your thoughts on this rumor of Sonya Deville being handpicked to be the next SmackDown Live Women's Champion? If you don't think that she is materially the champion, for you, looking at the SmackDown Live Women's roster, who would you pick to be the next champion?
Well, if you look at it like this, man, you ask my honest opinion of it.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather honestly see Steven in a wig than Sonya Deville as champion. I mean, that's just about the same outcome you're going to get. She ain't ready yet. Don't let her do that. Mid-card at best. Throw her down there for another year, 6 months. Let's see what happens. Show me you can make it on the sticks. Show me you can carry it in the ring. Show me you're an Iron Woman. Give me something to work with. You haven't shown me that yet, so I'm not going to invest my time nor money into SmackDown for you, per se, if you were to become champion. As far as if Becky Lynch ain't going to keep this strap, which Flair's name's going to be all over this belt. If we're not going to side with Flair, we're just going to use Flair for a build-up. Becky Lynch is champion. We can't use Flair at all. I'm going with Asuka, man. You had the prime, definite moment when you were teasing before you put Charlotte in that Survivor Series slot. When them fans popped and, she was going off, you had the chance to make Asuka relevant again instead of making her some dancing, like, it irritates me. You don't have a streak longer than Goldberg and then start dancing around and then start jobbing out. And then I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if she did something, whatever it may be. I'm sorry to hear it if she did. They should have rode that wave. That would have been a great change up. You let Asuka go in there. You let her take it at Survivor Series. Now you got Asuka built. Now you got 3 stars to work with. Now you got, something more presentable. But then again, it's just my opinion.
I heard the main thing. Well, I told Kyron this. The main thing I heard about Asuka that Vince her because she can't speak proper English and she can't cut good promos.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See, I heard that, but I didn't know if they were taking that serious or not.
You know why?
That was his only downfall. That's what I heard.
You know why I hate that argument? If you knew she couldn't speak fluent English, then why the hell did you sign in the first place?
Do you not look at her and tell where she comes from?
Do you not she doesn't speak fluent English, so you sign this woman knowing she can't speak fluent English, and then you bury her when she comes to the main roster because she can't speak fluent English. I don't want to hear that. That's a BS excuse. No, the reason WWE didn't push her is because she's Asian. It had nothing to do with her not being able to speak English, and we know it. Same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura. And don't give me that BS if they won the Royal Rumbles, neither one of them won the titles, and Shinsuke had 5, counting the Jinder Mahal matches, 5 opportunities, 6, 7 opportunities, and he never won a title. Asuka had an opportunity against Charlotte at WrestleMania. Then they ruined her credibility as Carmella. And don't get me because she can't speak English. No, it's because she's Asian. I don't want to hear it. In terms of the Sonya Deville thing, no, I don't see her as a champion. Not around this time. She's not ready. Next women's champion, if they either take it off Becky, you give it to Charlotte because you've ruined Asuka to the point where you have to build her back up for her to be champion again first. You can't just put the title on her and all of a sudden she's going to be the Asuka I know and love. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to build this woman back up to what she was and do right by her. So in terms of Sonya Deville, no, I don't see her as champion. She's not. I don't think she's ready. And in terms of who I see the next women's champion, if Becky can't defend the title, I see Charlotte.
All right, and I get that, and that's kind of where I would have gone it myself for Becky Lynch. But people and fans always say, and I respect it, that we're supposed to make new stars and give others a chance in a sense, and this and that. If we give title back to Charlotte Flair, though reliable, or even on the Raw side, my girl Alexa Bliss, who is reliable and has been a good champion 5 time women's champion overall. I think for me, having Sonya Deville as the next champion, again, I know I already said that not right now is not in the cards for her, but someone like her, maybe even Mandy Rose, or maybe we try to push Zelina Vega, like someone new to be able to be one of their top stars that can be dependable and reliable, that you have more of options up there for your main card for the women's division, that you're not always reverting back to having your champions just carouseling around being Becky Lynch and Charlotte, or on Raw with if they did something with Sasha Banks, being Sasha Banks Rousey, over there, certainly because of those being only the ones that you have invested anything in. I'm not saying that everybody has to be champion. I'm not saying that hot potatoing and just giving it to everybody because of that. But just fans say making new stars. So that's for my counter argument, I guess I would say that maybe the next women's champion, if not going to be Sonya Deville, as the rumors are stating, of her being handpicked to be the next champion, then maybe someone like Zelina Vega or Mandy Rose, or someone like that getting a push and being champion, and getting that opportunity, whether they feel or not, that's on them. Superstars, of course, but just getting an opportunity, I think that would be great. It'd be good. It'd be good for the business, good for the WWE. And then we can judge them on how they're doing with that push, whatever. But in regards, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can't talk about creating new stars. WWE's not building anything. You can't just put the title on someone out of nowhere and think now they're a star. It doesn't work that way.
Well, yeah.
Like let's look at, like I said, my prime example was, it's not even gonna be Sasha Banks because he's been champion. But that's another problem. Ember Moon. You look at this woman from came from NXT, was NXT champion, had the best women's match of 2017 against Asuka. She comes on the main roster, and yet she's yet to have a one-on-one pay-per-view match. Hell, I'm not counting Evolution because she had to be on that show. Not counting Evolution, she's been on one pay-per-view, and you have a chance to put her in Survivors. You don't even do that, and that's a legit star right there. You had right there for you. You didn't do it. You're ruined. You didn't do anything with Asuka, another legit star. A mega star you could have had, you ruined that. So the women you had NXT literally gave you 2 stars right there. You've ruined. And now, people like Zelina, Mandy, Sonya, I wouldn't mind seeing them as champion, but you can't. You're not building them. Saying Zelina, for example, she's barely had her only matches have been really against Lana. That doesn't prove anything to me. She's more known as Andrade Cien Almas valet than a wrestler. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose been off TV for so long that you put them on TV. No, I don't really care that much. Not saying they're bad or anything, but that's just how it is. And you gotta start building stars. That's why they would go to Charlotte first, because she's a proven commodity. The people you had, you didn't do right by. Like I said, people like Asuka, Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, Bayley. Those are women who you legit could have had as stars that you ruined. So WWE isn't always about making stars. That's the problem. Because sometimes it's about certain people. You look at, Malik, you said it best a few weeks ago. Unless your name is Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, or Ronda Rousey, there's nothing sure. And in terms of Becky, this was not WWE's original plan. This was not in WWE's plan to have her be the biggest star in the company. That was not supposed to be that plan in general. They originally wanted her to be a heel, and they wanted fans to boo her, and that was it. That was all it was. The reason she got over on her own because the fans sided with her, and and what else? She won Evolution because WWE didn't want to blow Charlotte and Ronda at Survivor Series. But the problem with that is Becky getting hurt, and they got to do it anyway. And so if Becky ends up in the main event, remember that was never WWE's original plan. So WWE isn't always about creating stars. When the stars you could have had, you're ruined.
Right, exactly. But I agree with you on the whole building them up first. They're not just giving them championships at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania here, moving forward near the end of this season. for WWE, like in time. But I just think that would be best for them to do so. So you have other reliable superstars for the women's division, and even on the side of the men's, some superstars aren't being used. That would be definitely beneficial for them. But moving right along, let's actually get into Survivor Series and actually start predicting the show. And we'll start with the traditional Survivor Series match with the tag team division that will be part of the pre-show Team Roberts Team SmackDown Live. What you guys think? Who do you think is going to win this? I mean, you might not care because I know we already were talking about it, but which side do you officially predict to win for the tag team division Survivor Series match? Kyron.
SmackDown. Moving on. I don't care. SmackDown.
Malik.
SmackDown.
I'm going with SmackDown Live as well. I have the Usos and the New Day being the sole survivors in a sense. So
yeah, because they're the only tag teams on both teams worth a damn. So yeah.
Exactly. All right, moving right along with the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. Champion Buddy Murphy defending against Mustafa Ali. Championship match. We'll start with Malik this time. Who do you have winning this?
Is this match on the pre-show?
No.
As of right now, it's not. But
I'm so happy this match is on the pre-show.
I have a feeling I'm right.
Don't push your luck, Malik.
If I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna. Oh man, I ain't really been keeping up 205 Live to be honest, so I don't really know the whole storyline between these two. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say Mustafa Ali.
Okay, Howard.
Same with Malik. I don't keep up with 205 Live. However, I'm expecting a great match between these two because I know how good these two are. I'm picking. I'm sorry. Buddy Murphy to retain because I've heard rumors of Cedric Alexander possibly turning heel. And while you could fuel that with Mustafa Ali winning the title, then you could do a little bit more by having made him cost Mustafa Ali the match. But I got Buddy Murphy retaining.
Same here. Kind of keep it tabs on 205 Live. And I'm going to go with the champion, Buddy Murphy to retain. So we get time for Mustafa Ali to become the champion. So I'm going Buddy Murphy to retain there. Moving right along with the Raw Tag Team Champions, the AOP newly crowned, up against the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions at the bar with the Big Show. There with the Battle of the Tag Team Champions. Who do you have winning there, Raw or SmackDown? Karen.
AOP, I'm giving that win to Raw. I mean, look, AOP, you're not doing much with you put the titles on them, but you got to give them more momentum. And I think I'm not saying they got to bury like squash the bar, but I think a good solid win over the bar would do great for AOP because in effect that'd be their biggest win on the main roster. So I'm gonna go with AOP, and that gives the point to Raw. So at that point, I got it 1-1.
All right, Malik.
I'm gonna say AOP. I'm not for sure, but I'm gonna say AOP.
Right, and for me, I'm going with AOP over the bar. So for me as well, 1-1 so far with Roberts' SmackDown tally. Excuse me. Next up, the women's five traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Remember, SmackDown Live. So this time we'll go to Malik. Who do you have winning here for the women's traditional Survivor Series, Raw or SmackDown?
Did they say who's replacing Charlotte in that match? Did we know?
Not
yet.
No, right now it's still a silhouette. No name yet.
I'm gonna say for this match, I'm gonna say Raw.
All right. Karen Chase?
I want to make sure I keep up the card right. Because I gotta have to go 3-3 into the final match.
Mm-hmm.
But considering the fact that Raw won both women's elimination matches the previous 2 years, I think it's SmackDown's turn. I'm gonna go with SmackDown especially because I think this is a good way for Asuka to possibly get a heat back. You can have Asuka go maybe it ends up 3-1 and she comes back to win it, and you let her have a dominant performance to get some heat back and get some momentum again. So I'm gonna go with SmackDown to get this one, making it 2-1 SmackDown as well.
And for me, I'm gonna go with Team SmackDown getting the win. I don't know exactly who I would have to, be the sole survivor or survivors, as I said with the other one. But I'm going with SmackDown Live in the end.
Actually, hold on, wait. I forgot. Alexa Bliss she's not wrestling though, is she?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm picking SmackDown then. I thought she was in the match. I'm thinking she's actually in the match.
I mean, if you want to give Oscar fans a cookie, you can have Oscar be the sole survivor.
I forgot. I forgot she was hurt. I'm thinking she was in the match, like she was a part of the team.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
because on the Raw side.
I'm going with SmackDown then. She's not in the match. They're not winning.
Okay. Yeah, because on the Raw side with their captains, both of them or neither of them are going to be in the match. Baron Corbin or Alexa Bliss. They're just the captain picking the teams, as they did. So, moving right along. Excuse me. Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus the United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Kyra, who do you have winning in this Battle of the Mid Card Champions?
I'm going with Nakamura to beat Seth Rollins. I mean, same thing with Oscar. The man's U.S. champion, but he's literally done nothing with the title. And you only have to have him beat Seth clean. Have Dean cost Seth the match. I mean, yeah, it hurts Raw, but Dean's the type of character wouldn't give a fuck about that. So I'm gonna go with Shinsuke Nakamura to win that match over Seth Rollins, making the score SmackDown 3, Raw 1. Even I don't have it going the match card in this particular order, but at that point it'd be SmackDown 3, Raw 1.
All right, Malik.
Nakamura for the win, definitely. I expect Dean Ambrose to come out and cost the match, but I also expect this match to be one of the best matches on the night, though, because this match is definitely 5-star potential.
This is a legit dream match.
But I definitely think Nakamura for the win.
And I'm going that same way. SmackDown Live, Shinsuke Nakamura getting the win over Raw Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose getting involved, but how I see it, how I have it booked in my mind's eye, is Dean Ambrose's music hits, distracts Seth Rollins, turns around. Shinsuke, he take 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke getting the win. Then after celebrating, then the music hits again. But Seth Rollins is in the ring by himself. This time, Dean comes through the crowd, again mocking the Shield, coming through the crowd, attacking Seth, hitting him with dirty deeds, and walking out. Music still playing. So something like that, at least as I see, in my booking of use of Dean Ambrose as Survivor Series in regards to Seth Rollins. So I have Nakamura getting the win there, and another tally for SmackDown Live. Excuse me, SmackDown Live there for me. Let's head over to the men's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Raw versus SmackDown. Kyron, we'll throw it to you. Who do you have winning here for the men?
Since we're going complete out of order here, I have SmackDown winning, so I have SmackDown winning night 4-3. So I'm gonna go with SmackDown because this is gonna be the last match of the night. SmackDown, because they're the ones with. I mean, both teams have more storylines in each other, with no one really trusting no one on the show. You got many people feuding inside. But with Raw, not only did Raw win the big elimination match last year, Raw won both Survivor Series the last 2 years. Time SmackDown get a full night win. So I'm gonna go with SmackDown to win that match and win four of 7. So I'm going SmackDown.
All right, yes, the presumable main event. Yes, I'm kind of going out of order, but Malik, who do you have winning in this match for the men?
I want SmackDown to win, but I think Raw's gonna win. I think it's gonna come down to Strowman just destroying everybody at the end, because on Raw, Stephanie said if you win, I'll give you what you want. He wants Baron Corbin, obviously. He has to do his part, and if he loses, if they lose, how's that gonna benefit him? You know what I'm saying?
But Malik, yeah, I agree with that, Malik, and Strowman definitely needs some heat back after what they did to him in Saudi Arabia. But wouldn't this actually go better with the story? Corbin knows that if Raw wins, Strowman gets to face him in a stipulation of his choice. Wouldn't Corbin, being the person he is, to cost Strowman elimination and maybe cost Raw the whole match, so he doesn't have to face Braun and probably a no disqualification stipulation? That's why, that's what I can see happening. Maybe Corbin, because let's be honest, Strowman gets his hands on Corbin and no disqualification, he's gonna murder his ass. Corbin doesn't want that. Corbin could cost Raw and Strowman the match in general, and so that way he doesn't have to face Strowman. And you can still do Strowman versus Corbin anyway. Stephanie could get so upset with Corbin's actions that she'll put him in a match against Strowman anyway.
Right. No, and I like that.
That's definitely a possibility. That can definitely happen. I can definitely see that happen. But as of right now, I can see that. I can see that happening. Because I'm pretty sure Corbin will be at ringside. You know what I mean? I'm sure he'll be out there and he'll probably do something stupid to Strowman. So that definitely could happen in a way. But I could also see, maybe something happens to Strowman. I don't know. Maybe they put him through a table, or maybe he gets distracted by Corbin and he chases him around the arena or some shit, comes back and it just destroys everybody else. Whoever's left on the SmackDown roster. I could also see though. I mean, I could also see SmackDown winning because I've heard that they plan on turning Shane heel. So I could see Shane kind of maybe winning and kind of giving the victory to himself. You know what I'm saying? Giving all the credit to himself in a way, making it seem like he did everything for the team for the win, something like that. So I could see that happening. But I think SmackDown does need to win though. I mean, they haven't won the last 2 years, so I definitely think they should win.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to say. There's a part of me that feels like Raw because I can see the side of Raw winning. So mainly this was Strowman on the team in general. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then I could see SmackDown winning, which if they're gonna turn Shane heel with the whole Shane winning and kind of gloating like I did this for I put the team on my back type stuff. I'm the reason we won type thing. And then I could see, what Kyron said, Corbin kind of interfering, maybe costing them that win, you know what I mean, for if Strowman gets eliminated. Because obviously he won't get pinned. Nobody's going to pin him in the match. So, I mean, he's either going to win the match for the team or he's just going to maybe get counted out, something, I don't know, something that, something in that area.
Mm-hmm. And I like Karen's idea. My only retort was going to be that, kayfabe-wise, why would Baron Corbin almost risk his job for doing that? As much as Stephanie, Stephanie does want to win and beat her brother Shane with his battle robbers of SmackDown. So Baron Corbin costing Raw, or just in regards to Braun Strowman, maybe it'll be a thing where he costs Braun Strowman with an elimination, but Raw in the end still winning the match as a team. That's why I think the person that's going to be mowing through people is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I'd bring him up too. I forgot. I was about to say that Drew McIntyre. I've heard they got big plans for him in the future. You know what I mean? They've been using him really well. So I mean, I could definitely see him definitely getting the win for all too in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I definitely have Drew McIntyre as the sole survivor. Maybe you still do have what Kyron is saying, which is a great idea with Mr. Baron Corbin getting involved and costing elimination for Braun Strowman. But in the end, the Raw team getting the win, and then still having that match being made by Stephanie McMahon because being upset Baron Corbin got involved in that match. It almost cost them the win overall against SmackDown Live. So I see Drew McIntyre as the sole survivor. I have Team Raw getting the win.
But here's the thing, you can still make Drew look good even if he gets eliminated. For example, let's say Drew goes on, he eliminates Shane, he eliminates Ray, and he eliminates Jeff. Let's say that's what happens.
Right.
But Joe himself eliminates Drew, or Drew gets disqualified. I mean, getting eliminated by Samoa Joe of all people would be the least damaging to Drew, or be himself disqualified because he's such a a maniac. That would work too. I mean, I see Drew having a breakout performance, even though I don't have Raw winning.
Plus you gotta think. I think Randy Orton's gonna get involved somehow too, because he's been doing the whole attacking Rey Mysterio type shit too. So maybe maybe he gets involved and does something within that, because he's not in the match. So maybe he gets involved, does something in the match.
Right. I mean, I would have Miz and Joe be the sole survivors, and build off that. And like I said, no way. I mean, TLC, you do the Fatal 4-Way TLC match between AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and The Miz, because that's a match I really want to see. So
I've talked about that match for a while too. I definitely want to see that, because you can't just go in. You can't just go in with AJ and Daniel Bryan, especially if you're gonna build it up for WrestleMania. You can't have too many matches like you did with Shinsuke.
That's what I was thinking, or with the women's one, and I didn't bring it up when we were talking about that match. But maybe you could have a Sasha and Bayley coming out there and almost trying to cost Raw the match there for the women in the women's match, as they did last year. You remember that was with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're trying to and they were attacking Shane McMahon because that was their beef at the time. Maybe that's how you have Sasha and Bayley on the show. I don't know, just as an idea that maybe that could be something shocking, something big happening, and whether that does cost or doesn't for the Raw brand in the women's Survivor Series match, I certainly don't hate that idea if they do have Bayley and Bayley going out there, I guess, showing frustration, or however they would word it, in that regard, if they do something with them at Survivor Series in regards to the women's, women's match there. But here's the match the reason why I did this one last, or not last yet, actually. First, we're going to do the women's. Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Again, it's supposed to be champion versus champion, but still it's Raw versus SmackDown with Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. We'll start with Malik. Who do you have getting the win here?
Ronda's definitely winning. But this also has potential of being the match of the night too. I mean, this was supposed to be safe for WrestleMania, but I wish Becky was in it. But adding Charlotte, I'm not upset that Charlotte's in it. Because it's still a good opponent for Ronda. This is definitely going to be, to me, her test. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the biggest match she's had by far since she's been in the company. Obviously, her main roster, her debut match was anticipating, but she's never fought anybody with the skill set of Charlotte. You know what I mean? She's never fought anybody that is good in the ring as Charlotte. So I'm very interested to see how well she does in the ring. She had a great match. Her best match was with Nia Jax, if you ask me. Her one-on-one match was with Nia Jax. But this is definitely going to be a test for her. Charlotte will lose. But I think this definitely has a match, like I said, to be potential the match tonight. I'm very interested to see how Ronda does well against somebody as well as Charlotte Flair in the ring.
All right, Kyron.
I'm gonna kind of take a page out of JD's book, from what he tweeted. He said you have like Shayna be the final man for Team SmackDown, and you can start a tournament, and Shayna wins the SmackDown Women's Championship in that tournament. How about Shayna cost? But I'm gonna add to it. Shayna cost Charlotte the win, helps Ronda win. And now you start planting the seeds for the Four Horsemen versus Four Horsemen match. Because no matter what, that's a match WWE wants to do. Maybe it's time to start planting the seeds for that match a little bit. You can even build it up and have Charlotte challenge Shayna for the title of WrestleMania while Becky challenges Ronda. And you can even start adding Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir and Sasha and Bailey. You start building the next year's Survivor Series where you get the Four Horsemen versus Four Horsemen match. Because it's too early to do it at WrestleMania, and it's Survivor Series SummerSlam for me. So I think it's time to start planting the seeds a little bit for Horsemen versus Horsewomen. But I'm picking Ronda to win. Whether Shayna helps or not, I don't know. But I'm definitely picking Ronda to win. But this is where the seeds for Four Horsemen versus Four Horsewomen starts getting planted.
All right, for me, I'm going with Ronda Rousey just getting the win over Charlotte Flair there, and not too much else for me to say in regards to that match. Ronda Rousey just getting the win. For the match that I did hold on last because I had a feeling that maybe this will be the main event. Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus WWE Champion, newly minted WWE Champion Daniel Bryan. Raw versus SmackDown. Brock versus Daniel. I know we were talking about it before we even started predictions, but let's get your official predictions for this match. Who do you have winning? We'll start with Kyron.
I would have Daniel win because just started heel, just won a title. This would be big momentum for him to beat Brock Lesnar. But that's not gonna happen. I'm picking Brock to win. Like I said, this is gonna happen before the big 5-man, 10-man tag, and this is gonna be the match that precedes it because it's gonna tie it up at 3-3 for Raw. I just can't. I don't see Daniel Bryan beating Brock Lesnar. It's not happening. I mean, I hope Brock cares so we can get something similar last year because his match with AJ was great. But I got Brock winning this match.
All right, Malik.
Lesnar definitely winning. I mean, I don't think people behind the scenes believe that Daniel Bryan is believable enough to beat Brock Lesnar because of his size and everything. So definitely Brock Lesnar's definitely winning. I hope it's a good match though. Like I said, he had a great match with AJ last year. AJ and Daniel have two different styles of wrestling. Daniel's not really as much of a high flyer as AJ is, but this match definitely has potential of being a good match as well. So if Brock cares enough and he actually goes in there like he did last year, they can have a really good match.
Here's the thing: while Daniel's not the high flyer AJ is, he combats that with his technical style and hard hitting ability. And you can break Brock down with break Brock's legs down, arm. That's how I think Daniel could keep into it. I mean, I stand people always say all the time, and I know it's different Brock Lesnar. Brock going against a smaller guy is not believable. Did you say that when he fought Eddie Guerrero or CM Punk, or even let's stick Kurt Angle? So I have no problem believing a smaller guy can hang with Brock Lesnar because I've seen it before.
The only reasons, CM Punk believe that. That's just me. I never believed CM Punk was going to beat him.
I didn't believe I didn't believe he was going to beat Punk, but you believe Punk can hang with him.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero really only beat him because he was leaving that year. He was leaving the WWE and he wasn't staying. That's really one of the main reasons that he actually won that match. And Kurt Angle, with his wrestling background, obviously Kurt Angle's a small guy, but he can go in there and he can out-wrestle anybody. So that's just those two in the ring together right off the bat. It's his money. So especially with their wrestling backgrounds and everything where they come from, Angle may be a smaller dude, but I mean, with the wrestling skill wise, pound for pound, he's probably one of the very few people that can go in there and out wrestle Brock Lesnar. You know,
And
so.
you don't think an AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan can out wrestle Brock Lesnar, especially in today's time.
I mean, it's right now, yeah, but I mean, as far as they're believable, I don't think they're believable enough to beat them because they you know with the way they just do things with them. I just don't know. I just don't feel like it'd be like. I mean, I wouldn't mind them winning, but as far as like them going in the ring together, how Brock Lesnar's now, I just can't. I don't see it.
All right, yeah, like I said, I'm going with Brock Lesnar as well, getting the win. I would be a little bit surprised, but maybe not totally if they have Daniel Bryan win. Though hopefully not exactly this being a squash match either. It's one of those, which way should they go? Almost putting themselves in the corner now, having Daniel Bryan in this match. And his neck injury issues and stuff like that. Yes, he's cleared, he's fine, I guess in general. But going into a match with Brock Lesnar, which we talked about earlier in the show, of putting that at risk in your health against Brock. It's going to be interesting to see how everything goes down for the match, during it. But like I said, definitely people are welcome to see us talk about things and watch the show over on Malik's channel. Glitzy Boy, definitely go over there, subscribe already, ring the bell so when that video does go live, their Survivor Series. You might start a little early, you might start right at the start of the show, whatever he feels like. So definitely everybody from here.
We're gonna make predictions for Takeover too. I mean, actually, that's the show that everybody's waiting for. If you ask me.
That's the show that we know is going to be the better show anyway.
That's the main show I'm waiting for.
Yeah, you guys. One of you guys can throw up the card because I don't have it in front of me. But
there's only four. There's only four
matches. I know it by heart. First, I mean, I don't know in any particular order, but Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black.
I'm picking Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, Johnny Gargano. I think Black's about to get called up. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, 2 out of 3 falls.
This one's hard, man. I'm gonna go. They just put the belt back on Shayna Baszler, so I feel like they might save her call up in 2019, like maybe Royal Rumble around there. But oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go Shayna Baszler because I'm gonna say Shayna Baszler wins this one, and then she'll drop the title, the takeover before the Royal Rumble.
No, I'm gonna go with Shayna Baszler as well. And I actually have her holding the title maybe even a little bit longer, maybe even to the NXT show takeover. Excuse me, NXT takeover show before WrestleMania. That's what I was gonna say. If I can speak, I have it only going that long for her. So I'm going with Baszler in the match.
I'm gonna go with Kairi Sane. I mean, I think it's gonna have a callback to that match Evolution with the other 2 horsewomen get involved, but this time Kairi's gonna have backup and Io Shirai and Mia Yim, and I think they're gonna help Kairi regain the title. And then Shayna gets called up. Or hell, maybe they stay down in NXT. We get like a 6-woman tag match at the next takeover. But I got Kairi Sane regain the title. Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream NXT Championship.
Tommaso Ciampa. I don't think they're gonna put on Velveteen Dream yet. I think Tommaso Ciampa wins. I
got Tommaso as well. I hope Dream doesn't get called up yet. He's still young. Doesn't need to get called up already. But I got Tommaso. And finally, the War Games match: Undisputed Era versus Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders.
Undisputed Era.
I've been going back and forth. On one hand, Undisputed Era won War Games last year, but I think what's going to happen is you look at the babyface team the other night on NXT. They were kind of infighting, and Undisputed Era works better as a well-oiled team. And plus, they have the man advantage, so I'm going to go with Undisputed Era to win.
Undisputed Era wins, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm expecting a lot of.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that it's either going to be a match, but just for me, Undisputed Era seems like as I'm going to pick for the match just because it just there would be a role. Again, it's definitely going to be a 5-star match. The whole show, with even just like Karen was saying, quality over quantity and how good Takeover is going to be over Survivor Series. Though for me, I guess individually, I'm giving Survivor Series a chance to at least be close, but individually. But either way, regards to the War Games match, definitely, not only could be my match of the night, but is most NXT Takeover main events. So you think there's going to be the main event, of course. Match of the year candidate.
I mean, I'm looking at a match here candidates between War Games and Gargano and Aleister Black. Those two matches I think are going to be match of the year candidates. And if it is, I mean, just look at the year Johnny Gargano will have had if that's a match of year candidate. Literally, every takeover the man's been on was a top 10 match of the year. He's had 2 5-star matches. And if him and Aleister Black do what I think they're going to do, that's going to be another match of the year contender. That dude is definitely WWE's Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah. Excuse me. Anyways, definitely going to be looking forward to Takeover. I myself, with the main roster, looking forward to Survivor Series as well. But definitely we got to look forward to and enjoy Takeover. I know sometimes I do Takeover live streams, but this time I will not be busy Saturday night with family, so I'll still try to be catching the events, but I'm not as glued to it as one should. But for Survivor Series, I will be part of the live stream over on the Leaks channel. But anyways, we'll just end it here. Give you guys your last thoughts on things, and plug yourself, channels and otherwise as we usually do. And we'll start with Malik.
If you guys want to go subscribe to me, go subscribe to my channel, Narcolepsy Boy 94. I do trivia videos. I do podcasts. I do top tens. I do wrestling reaction every Monday, Tuesday, and I definitely have like Steve said in the beginning of the show, a full live stream for Survivor Series on my channel this week with some guests joining me. If you want to follow my Twitter is Malik Kelly 94. I think. So go check out my stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And Kyron.
Follow me on Twitter, SplashBro Kyron, Instagram, SplashBro_Kyron, Tumblr and DeviantArt, Kyron Chase, YouTube account, Kyron Chase. I do on wrestling, so I'm the Hedgehog, my opponent is Magic. I do reaction videos from time to time. I'll probably be on Malik's live stream as well.
Excuse me, and for me, you're welcome to find me on Twitter at @TheRamble_WB or my personal Twitter handle at Army_Strong_06. Of course, subscribe to this channel as you are here watching this. Definitely hope you do. Leave a like, smash the like button, share the video to others if you want. I do thank the real deal Jaden Steele for being here for as long as he was. I appreciate that as much as it would have rocked to get his predictions for the show. He just doesn't do predictions, but I do appreciate him spending some time with us, giving us some knowledge, dropping some knowledge in regards to seeing things as a wrestler. I'm seeing it from that perspective as well, so I appreciate him being on. Look forward to having him again in the future. I think everybody watching live, those that will be watching archive, enjoy the rest of your evening, your day, and otherwise. And above all else, as always, take care.
Peace out.